Back at it again. Back at it again. Back at it again. Most High, I know I got the correct words to give out to the people in this deliverance on today, this wonderful, great day. And I want to let them know it works. It works. It works. It works. Hop up in the live. Let's go. Let's go. It works. It works. It works. It works. You know what? Usually I come on the live and I wait for a few people to hop in and everything like that. But I'm going to just go ahead and keep it moving. When you hop in, you hop in. And when you hop in, you hop in exactly where you're supposed to hop in at. So check it out. It works. It works. Your words work. Your faith works. Your anointing works. Your purpose works. Your action works. Your knowledge works. Your awareness works. It all works out. It all works out for your good. It all works out for your good. I'm a living testimony that I went from nothing, got out of that nothing, and created nothing, and almost became nothing. Nothing in all the negative ways. Not value, not seeking or having or using a value within myself, not knowing who I am, not knowing the steps to receive what it is I know I can have, or what someone else told me I could have or should have, or what is my right to have. And I didn't believe those things because my reality was, it don't work. It don't work. And I'm here to tell you today, it works. It works. When you apply knowledge and faith and knowing and doing to whatever it is that you're trying to get to, who you're trying to get to, whatever it is, it works. It works. A few years ago, I had rented my house out and was taken full advantage of during the pandemic. Almost lost my home, didn't have income, didn't have true supporters. It was just me and God. It was just me and God. And of course there were people present, right? But I saw in the long run that those people were only there for the kicks and the giggles about the bullshit that was going on. As long as I provided them a good time, and as long as I suppressed and depressed myself into not dealing with what I had to deal with, or believing that I didn't have no one to talk to or no one was available for me, or believing in myself and believing in my work and believing in me coming up here even on YouTube or being on TikTok, I was hidden. I was hiding myself. And doing all those things, it kept me in the right environment to not receive. But when I decided to step away from those things, and I said, you know what, I give up on the folks. I give up on the people around me. I give up on this environment. I'm giving it all up to the Most High. I'm giving it all up to God. But it's up to me to make the best decisions moving forward. And so that's what I did. If it did not, benefit my peace, I'm gone. And I've been like that for years now, because it's no need for me to set aside my peace to, please anyone else. And I've said that before in one of my lives, you know what I'm saying? But here on the day, for whoever's new, like, I'm reminding you, like, hold your peace. Your peace is well kept where you place it. You feel me? And I had pieces all over the place with no peace, with no evidence of peace within myself to sustain my happiness, even in the environment I was in. And I also learned that you can't happy the hell out of an environment. You can't help folks in a low vibrational environment. You got to get up out of there. And when you get up out of there, yeah, you're going to be the sore thumb that stick out. You're going to be the black sheep that stick out. You're going to be all those things. You're going to be called names. You're going to be bullied. You're going to be disregarded. You're going to be mistreated. You just going to go through shit when you decide that I'm no longer going to be a part of this. And so when I decided I wasn't going to be a part of the crowd no more, I had to step into my genuine responsibilities and hold myself accountable for decisions and things like that. And in doing so, after being taken advantage of, my dog was taken away. I was arrested on I was to me, wrongfully arrested on my own property, But at the time, I just had to deal with what the quote unquote law said. Had nothing to do with my shelter. Had nothing to do with the wrong of this tenant that was doing cocaine in my house and not paying the rent as he should have. Like, just a whole lot of things. And at the time, I quite honestly, I didn't have an income. I didn't have a means of different things and stuff like that, because I basically gave up the life that I was living before. After working for the government, my life totally changed because I was no longer in the environment that I wanted to be in. Thank you for joining. Hey, how you doing? Put in the comments, like, where you from? Put a thumbs up for me. So in the time that I was going through those trials and tribulations, like, I just gave it up. I gave it up. And when I gave it all up, I damn near lost it all. I still have my house. Thank God for that. I still have shelter and everything. And quite honestly, I've always had shelter. It was just that the building that I was building, it was crumbling down because my mentality was so stuck still in that environment. However, it was some things that happened that gave me no choice but to focus on me and focus on what it is that I had to do for myself, and to, gain my power back and have my peace back. And so I went without lights. I went without water. I went without food. I've gone without a vehicle. I've had to walk in all types of weather. I've had to sleep outside in all types of weather. And why I say this is because I reside in VA, and everybody knows you got all 4 seasons in a week, sometimes in 36 hours. But anyhow, went without water, went without lights, went without a phone, went without any communication other than direct communication with God, because I had to figure out what I was going to do other than lose my mind again in this treacherous world that I was born in. But it was something in me that just knew I had to continue to go on and, live my life. And so I went without, and now I have even more. Another testimony I can share with you today, between yesterday and today. My AC went out over the summer, and so just been fanning it up, right? So then, turn the AC off. This was around about August, something like that. And then, it started getting cool outside, and I noticed that my heat didn't turn on. And I was like, wow, so we got the hot and the cold just not really wanting to operate and work with me during this time. And it just triggered me, and I almost went back to, I ain't doing this, I'm da-da-da, and blah, blah, blah. And although I said those things, because I did, I was like, I'm not doing this shit again. I was like, no, we not happening. That's not happening. We not doing that. We not gonna be cold again. We not doing it. And so I made that up in my mind, and I said, you know what? Instead of me trying to figure out the how, because I know I don't have the monetary means, instead of me trying to ask why, because I know asking why ain't gonna do nothing but hinder me and trigger me and go back to those points. So what I did was I went within and I turned the light on within myself. I turned the heat on within myself. I learned how to stop and be cool, calm, and collected so I could receive. And I lied to you not. Yesterday, something just told me, hey, just go press that button on that thermostat and hit your heat. And when I tell you, as soon as I hit that button, that light within me got brighter and that heat turned on, it works. It works. It works. Because I was thinking about the time that I didn't have no lights and no water and no heat. And I knew that the power within me had to keep going so I could get what I needed to get to turn those things on. But unfortunately, in the last few months, I've actually gone through some unfortunate events that's kept me out of work and couldn't pay the bills. And when I tell you today, all of my bills are paid in full. All of my bills are paid in full. All of my bills are paid in full. My lights is on. My water is on. I got my house. I have shelter. It works. It works. It works. When you know what you know, it works. When you say no, I'm not going back. When you say I'm gonna keep moving forward, yes, it works. It works. Your movement works. Your actions work. Your words work. Your words work. This is why I always say gratitude is a chosen attitude. This is why I always say keep your peace. Be free, be true, and be you. I couldn't hold my peace without having water. I couldn't hold my peace without having shelter, but I learned how to. I learned how not to get mad. I learned how not to get upset. I learned how to just hold my peace and learn to love myself and remind myself I got everything within me that I need. Nothing on the outside did anything for me. Everything came from within. Everything came from within and sprouted out. I had to kill old weeds. I had to dead off old things that was in my field, that was in my environment. And because of that, I had to go through picking old weeds and cutting it down here and there, pulling up roots and dealing with triggers and things. And at this point, the seeds are growing. What's been planted is coming forth. And I mean, not just one or two fruits. You're talking about a multiple of fruits that's being harvested right now, that's being pulled up out of the ground, willing to be eaten by the seed sower, which is me, by the seed sower, which is you. I know for a fact that at one point in my life, I really was on some, you know what? Because I don't want nobody else to deal with this how I deal with it, I'll be the example to get through it. Use me, abuse me if you have to, but somebody else is going to get through exactly what I've gone through in a different way. And guess what? Even if it doesn't happen the same way my situation happened, it could be a whole. You don't have to be homeless. You don't have to own a home. You don't have to not have water. You can just simply, desire to have true support, genuine support, and it's coming for you. It works. You got to speak life into your situation. You got to speak life into where you going, and you got to know it right now. You got to know it right now. If I would have stayed in the same mentality with no lights and no water, I wouldn't be up here today had I not found those lights and those water within me. I didn't have support. I did not have support. I got friends and, or quote unquote friends and family that stayed 10 minutes away. And I was hungry. I was starving. To a point where even me making videos like this in my shed, like somebody was like, do you live in the shed? No, I don't live in the shed. I live in the King of Kings. And I live in my palace. I live in my place of peace. I live in my ways of sovereignty and doing things righteously because I know where I came from. I know where my mentality put me at. It had a mental stronghold on me, all the lack that there was. And some of the lack that there is. But everything is abundant. Just like you, just like me. If you keep your mind on the right things, it's not going to eliminate that you in the negative. You ain't going to escape shit. I didn't escape anything. I love the fact that I'm able to tell, this story in parts because I've overcome those things. But quite honestly, like just the entire story, I also had to learn, hold myself accountable. Allowance is not cheap. Whatever you allow to happen to you, people are going to feel that they can do that because you've opened that door of allowance. You've allowed yourself to be dismantled by the influence of others and their voices and their words and their opinions, and they really have no idea the walk that you talk and the talk that you walk when it comes to God. They have no idea what it is. And even if it's not a religious thing, because I'm not religious at all. I just learned what God is. I just learned who God is. And that's your words. That's your action towards self. Even with trials and tribulations of trying to be accepted by people in society that they ain't even trying to hear my truth, but they stuck on somebody else's truth, so they haven't discovered their truth yet. Even going through my trials and tribulations of transitioning, it was like, it's really just me. Who else is gonna get up and take care of me? Who else is gonna appreciate where I've come from and where I'm headed at? It's just me. Just like you gotta appreciate where you are, no matter how fucked up it is. I was outside. Never been homeless in my life. Over 25. Had accomplished and achieved so many things. Ended up leaving a job, resigned from that job because I knew I was a target. I knew I was being targeted. I knew I was being bullied. And it got to a point where the money wasn't good to be in that environment. And so when I left that money there and I left that environment there, I had to leave everything that I purchased with it, all the receipts that I had and everything. And I had to leave that same mind state there too. Ain't nobody gonna do you how you gonna do you. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. Ain't nobody gonna do you like you gonna do you. Ain't nobody gonna do it. You the one that gotta get up and do it. You the one that gotta get up and keep it going. You the one that gotta get up and encourage yourself. It's a plus when those things are added to you, but you gotta be ready to receive it too. I think to myself sometimes like, dang, if I would have done this months ago, if I would have done this a year ago and changing my state of mind, a lot of this could have happened in the opposite direction. A lot of this could have went a different way, but it didn't. It went the way that I chose for it to go at that time because my state of mind was just in that direction. But when I decided to make a U-turn and say, yeah, it's a U-turn, it's a me turn. It's not an our turn. It ain't a they turn. It ain't a her or a she turn. It ain't a him or his turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. If folks don't recognize that they just called your name to come up and receive what you're supposed to receive, I wouldn't even look back. I wouldn't even look back to see who clapping for me. I would go in and get my reward for reaping the benefits of what I've sown. I learned that people are really people. If you get caught up into thinking about other people all the time, you're going to get caught up into their energy. You're going to get caught into their wave of influence. And this is why I say I had to leave those people in that environment. The people that were supposed to come with me, they came. But the people that stayed there, no phone calls, no show, people that knew what happened and all that shit and knew what was going on, that did not show up. They did not show up. They were left right there. And I had to get used to that too, being lonely. Talk about not having to listen. I'm not even the guy to be on my phone all day, to be honest. But to not have any line of communication, even in emergency, you got to keep your mind right. You got to stay focused. I didn't have no lights, no water, no food, no nothing in the house. And you mean to tell me that I was just going to lose it in there? I was just going to lose it? Just for a body to be found without purpose, not even knowing? No, I had to live through that. I had to go through that. I had to get through not being able to communicate. I had to talk to myself. And this is why I tell people, I'm not crazy for talking to myself, and you're not crazy for talking to yourself. Think about it. If I grew up in going to public school, right? They taught us mental math, right? Okay, so we got this mental math thing going on. So you mean to tell me up until the point that the teacher teaches you the lesson, and then you get to a question on the test or during the exam or the quiz or whatever, and you don't fully understand it, but the teacher tells you, oh, we went over that already. Yeah, remember, think, use this. I can't get. Okay, so if we are in those positions in life that creates our reality because we have to use our own mind, why is it that our switch doesn't go off when it comes to the power that we have within us, but we can believe what someone else told us about a math test, and yet they won't help us, and yet we still got to sit and get that same answer for ourselves that they wouldn't give to us? I had to sit just like I was in that math class or in that reading class or in that physics class and figure the answer out for myself and know that I did my best with figuring that answer out. I had no idea how I was going to come out of poverty. I didn't have no idea how I was going to become financially literate. I didn't have any idea how I was going to start this YouTube. I didn't have any idea of how I was going to be here and not just be an entertainer, but be a performer in the form of God, in which that people on an elementary level can understand what I'm talking about. How is I going to get through that? How can you get through that? You keep going. You keep going. It's not ever going to stop. It's not ever going to stop. It's always going to be people out here that when you can give them a tangible offer and they're willing to receive or purchase that offer, that you got to know that individual that is buying from you or selling to you they're not always going to be or have the same mentality. And that's why when you come across folks that, oh, this is not for me, or you feel that energy, you got to know when to say no. I became very discerned when I began to when things began to return to my life in a better form, in a better way. Because I had to know that if I sit in this pool of shit, I'm not going to get up out of it. If I sit in this mentality, I'm not going to get up out of it. If I sit in this state of mind, I'm not going to get up out of it. But the thing about it is you got to stand up. You got to stand up and not be afraid of what it is that you have within you. That's power. That's power. I was scared of my own power. That's what kept my lights off. I was scared of my own flowing waters. That's what kept my water off. I was afraid of my own heating system. I was afraid of my own AC system. See, I had to learn how to use my temple to adjust my temperature so I could flow and I could grow. I kind of knew I would be here today, but not talking to you in this way. I know people try to look for the next best thing, or you got to look good, or you got to be dressed this way. God is in all forms, and I know genuinely and truly, like, I am God in a different form. Just like you're God in a different form. Just like everything else out here is God in a different form. Everything is God. Everything is God, and everything is everything. Ain't nobody say everything that's God is good, because I used to believe that, oh, God is good all the time, God is good. Well, my thing is that I'm not good all the time. Let's keep it 1,000. I'm not good all the time. The more wiser I get, and the higher in number that my age goes, and the more experiences that I have, because I'm willing to become wiser, I know that, hey, it's not gonna be what I say it to be all the time. Now I can have whatever I say, but that's by means of being in alignment with what's going on in the world today. And I'm not saying in the world that's full of chaos and things like that. I'm talking about the world of peace. There are plenty of peaceful people out here that have money and have no money. You have to learn how to just be just in that. You have to learn how to know that things are justified where you are. You're justified where you are. It's not about all the material things that you have, but on a level of intellect and divinity. Know where you come from. Know who you are. Discover what you're here to do. And don't be fooled by other influences, because they the same ones that can poison you. I was poisoned by sitting at the table, in which it was disguised, oh, like God did it for me. But no, these were just the people and the entities and the low vibrations that I was still attracted to and still clung on to. And we all partying together. But then when we leave the party, everybody's satisfied except for me, because everybody sat at the table and drank and enjoyed the meal that was prepared for them, in which I made, because it was the table in my vessel, or in my thought pattern, that was created so those people could be invited and come. And I had to shut the whole shit down, because I refuse to sit at the table with people that won't acknowledge the God that's within them. I'm not talking about me. I don't want no praise. I don't want no worship. I don't want none of that. I'm talking about the people that have not seen just yet the eyes of God within them. They have not been, the light within them has not been revealed just yet, because they still got a veil over their eyes, doing the same habitual things that ain't get them nowhere, but kept them stuck, kept them in codependency, kept them in arguments and trauma bonded relations. I said no to those things. I said no to those things. And I invite you to say no to the old you and welcome in the new you, the better version of you, the more healed you. The more, what can I say, the better one now, to have expectations of the great things, because you know you create, because you know you're creative, because you know God is within you, because you know no weapon formed against you has ever prospered, because you know that you can do all things. I strengthened through my struggle. I didn't struggle and then get stronger. God ain't put me in a situation He didn't know that I was strong enough to get through. God put me in a situation, God knew that I was going to overcome that thing and then help multiples and encourage people on this level to get me to this place that I am today, to encourage you again. Hey, what you want to do? Are you going to make that decision? Are you going to live a life in gratitude? Or are you going to let the things that come here to destroy us to devour you? What you going to do for yourself today? Are you going to procrastinate? Are you going to continue to be down on yourself? Are you going to continue to say, oh my God, I don't know what to do? Are you going to continue to be in a lack of gratitude attitude because this didn't work out, because something upset you, because it was traffic? No, stay in your present. We're not allowing those things to get to us. And even if it does happen in our present moment, we still say thank you. We still say we got somewhere to go. We gonna be there on time, whatever time that may be. It's already divine. It's already been placed where divinity wants it to be placed at. It's already been placed where you've agreed at this moment in this time and this experience that you're gonna get there at that time for whatever purpose that you could not see before. But when you get there, you're gonna be gifted with it, because although you thought you may have missed the mark, you were there on time. Although you thought you wouldn't make it out, you came on time. And you came on top. I came on top. I did it. It works. It works. It works. Your words work. Your action work. Your standards work when you uphold yourself to the type of man or the type of woman that you becoming. It works. Believe in yourself. It's not ever going to stop. Nothing is going to stop me. Someone asked me the other day, yo, you be up here and don't nobody be watching. I told him I don't care. I don't care, because I know it's coming. I know one of these days somebody gonna look up and they gonna be like, wait a minute now, how did this happen overnight for him? I'm gonna ask the same question. How did it happen overnight for you? How did you get to where you are today? Did it happen overnight? No, I've been going through the process. I've been going through the polishing and the rub downs and the cleansings and the fire. I've been going through it to get here. That's why I'm here. That's why I don't care if don't nobody show up. I showed up. And because I showed up, my vibration is amplified. Just like your vibration is amplified. Just like your purpose is amplified when you walking in divinity and you walking and you talking in that righteous God that you know that's within yourself, without judgment of others in what form God is in at that time. Ignoring different things because it doesn't walk like you, it doesn't talk like you. Ain't nobody say to have boundaries, but boundaries are just another form of awareness. It's protecting yourself. You're aware of the bullshit, but I'm also aware that I'm protected wholeheartedly from the top of my head to the sole of my feet. And that's what you got to walk with. You got to walk with the words of protection. You got to walk with the words of encouragement. Not necessarily outside of you. It's good to hear from other people, and it's good to read those things, but know that you got that same power within you. Your power ain't died. And your purpose is not D. But your purpose is adding more rewards to your life. Your purpose is adding more steps to your life. Your purpose is adding more growth. It's actually amplifying the seeds in there to multiply. In your field, where you are, where you want to go, the people you want to be around, you being prepared. Just like I'm being suited and booted and being tied up to go to the next level. And I invite you to go to the next level too. It works. It works. When I was homeless, it worked. Even when I doubted my own thoughts, it worked. Everything that I was thinking at that time, I created it. It works. In everything that you want to do in this life, your thoughts, it works. It works out for you. It's not going to stop working for you. It's not going to give up on you. The only thing, or the only one that can give up on you is you, and that's when you change your mind. Are you gonna give up on the things that kept you from your God self? Are you gonna continue to dwell in the things that keep you worried? Are you gonna continue to dwell in those things? Are you gonna say, you know what, today is a great day, today is a wonderful day, and I'm thankful, thank God that this issue is already solved, and know that and keep going about your day. Everybody ain't going to agree with your happiness. Everybody's not going to agree with your bliss. But I'm reminding you that as long as you keep your bliss, keep your peace, keep your love within you, it's going to be things and folks that are amplified towards that, and you won't even have to say anything. All you have to do is show up. All I had to do was show up. All I had to do was show up for me. All I had to do was show up for me and say, you ain't showing up for me, I'm going to show up for me. Trust me. I was seeking for God outside of self. I was seeking for God outside of self. God ain't out there. God is right here. God is within you. God is over there on the side of your screen too. But look, I want to leave this with you. Again, gratitude is a chosen attitude. Choose you. Be free, be true, be you. Go back and watch this. Whatever message came out of it, I'm glad that you got it. I'm glad that you stopped past. Just keep doing what you do. I love you. Everything is going to happen for you in due time. Change your mind and focus. Fascinate on the outcome you see. And whatever it ain't for you, leave that shit there. Everything on the shelf ain't supposed to be picked up and touched. Some shit you just gotta, I'm going this way. Do what's best for you. Love on you. Don't be deterred by this stuff that's going on in the world. You're great. Be great. Have a great day.